What's happening, y'all? See you. It's Lone Wolf. So I decided to do a video. I know I'm in the car, but I'm out running. I'm doing some work. But I wanted to talk about season 4, and I'm going to start with this one called The Family and the Young Boy. Okay? This is going to be a season. I'm going to do this entire season and use examples of one wicked family. Okay? And this is one thing I'm also going to say is this is why you don't do witchcraft on me, because I will use you as an example. Okay? And I'm going to teach you guys how to combat witchcraft with prayer, scripture, and healing in the Word of God, and understanding the tactics of that the world will use against you. Okay? 1 second. Okay, so what can I tell you about this young boy? So this young boy has done a lot of witchcraft to me over the last 4 to 6 years. Okay? And mostly swipes and demons and this and that. He created demons that he cast over himself, that he cast over items. He did all this stuff. And he uses them to swipe people, okay? Swipe people who are in the room. So, we're at the house, okay? And what happened to me today is I finally nipped it in the butt, okay? And these people, when they do witchcraft and they do things to you, they want you to have a seed of anger dropped in you, okay? So that they can attack you through that seed of anger, and the more angry you get, the more they can do, okay? What is the answer to this, okay? If you understand how the world will work against you, you understand how you can approach people. This is where you start to understand Jesus a lot, okay? Is you forgive people immediately. Immediately is hard to smile, okay? It's hard to just smile. What you should do is read the Bible, figure out your cultural roots, but admire God's creation and just smile and just, I forgive them, bro. Like, once that happens, what do you see? That seed of anger they tried to put in you, it bounces off and it lands right at your feet. And you're like, well, okay, well, what's up with that? And then you notice that God will drop a seed of divine judgment in the person. And that seed of divine judgment for this child was he's awake to it. So this has been a tactic that they've used on me for a while, okay? And it's just continued and continued, and I finally nipped it in the butt and figured it out, okay? So I decided to use this family, which is in a book later. I decided to use this family as examples through season 4. Okay, so this one is the seed of anger. How do you rid of the seed of anger? You learn how to forgive people immediately and move on. Like, the kid went downstairs and did a bunch of death metal too on his guitar, trying to like push a bunch of darkness onto me, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. Okay, so I'm out of here. So I went and I left, okay? And it's very complex what has happened to me in this specific town, okay, in this city. But I can tell you that it has not been righteous whatsoever. I don't think I've seen a wise decision out of anybody here, and the only foolish decisions I think that I've made is getting angry behind closed doors and having to leave, and I'll get angry about something, and they'll know that seed dropped in you because they can still hit you with stuff, okay? So you be happy. You pray for them. I pray for that young boy that he finds some sort of wisdom, okay? So the boy has no wisdom. He's been raised by 2 people that have not offered him any wisdom. They've let him run amok in his chaos and create chaos. He ended up getting beat up at school. He went through a whole bunch. Now he's not in school. A whole bunch has gone down, okay? So I showed up. When I first showed up, I saw the seed of anger in him, where he would stomp up the stairs and just get angry and throw stuff and scream at his mom. He still does that. Not the stomping, but screaming at his mom. He will deliberately put the seed of anger in his mother so that he gets off on it, okay? So he attacks her, he attacks me, he attacks people he learned from his dad, which is a dark practitioner, and his mom has just allowed him to get away with it, okay? Whether his mom is a dark practitioner or not, I don't really think so. I don't see her doing witchcraft or anything like that. She just seems to be a very submissive and passive parent, which has basically caused a whole load of issues, okay? So this young boy, I'm going to use the first few episodes. Tomorrow I'm going to do it outside, okay? I debated on going to fix up the cemetery and clean it up, but I just found out that there are people that are paid to do that here, so I just cleaned up the cemetery. They can clean up that spot, okay? So I'm good there. But I'm going to use this young boy in season 4 for a whole lot in the beginning, and I'm going to go from family member to family member to family member and use them as examples. And this is why you don't do witchcraft on somebody that is also preaching and is a minister, okay? Is because they will use what they did to you as an example for everybody else to teach people. And that's what I'm going to do, okay? What is the ultimate revenge? Well, God is the one that takes revenge. You leave it to God. What happens when you immediately get hit with some sort of betrayal or an attack, and you forgive them, you pray for them, and you put it in God's hands. Because one thing I said while I was praying was, God, I lay my burdens and this attack and everything that's happening to me at your throne. Do what you will with it. And I watched how it went, where I healed from the word. I read the first strawberry in the Cherokee history. Okay, there's a history story of the first strawberry, and I read that along with some of the Bible. A lot of it is well, where do you find things? You can find things in Saul and David about how David dealt with anger with Saul pursuing him, okay, with attacks, certain things like that, okay. And there was a level of empathy and forgiveness that David had for Saul that you will see, okay. But how did I deal with this tonight? Because usually, I mean, I've been swiped by this kid through demons and direct attacks. I've had stuff done to me from this kid, nightmares and all sorts of stuff done to me. And I will tell you that it took me until a point where I reached complete peace with the cross and in my boundary stone, where I was heavy in feather, but heavy with cross. And I'm going to minister, but I'm heavy in my feather here, where I'm deep in my spiritual roots, but I'm deeply rooted in the Word of God and deeply rooted in my faith, where I was so armored up that was that one thing that I saw where I was like, the seed of anger, you have to understand it. It can always affect you. There's always a problem out here that you can understand and fix it if you can understand it from how the world will attack you from the light. So it's combat, okay? So how did I deal with it? I left it at God's throne. God will deliver judgment, I believe, a lot quicker. The faster you pray for them, the faster you forgive them, and the faster you smile and admire His creation and move on. If you use them, this could be the divine judgment of it, that God worked through me to start doing this. I've been going through this for 4 years. 6 years total, but 4 years heavy combat from the same family, all of them, okay? And it's time for me to use them as an example, because it's being put into a book and it needs to correlate with the podcast. So that's what I'm going to do. Is the revenge factor is for God to deal with. I'm going to minister about it and teach people. If people do witchcraft to you, you rebuke it, you pray for them, you visit holy grounds, you spend time in the Word, you build a hedge, you do what you're supposed to do. You don't take revenge. This child, he's probably 14, 15, I think he is. After he swiped me again, and he casted something at me. And he said, don't tell my mom, basically threatening me that he's going to swipe me over and over again if I tell his mom. But, well, he's just going to keep doing it. So I just decided, I'm like, well, I don't really have to worry about that. Why? I forgive you. Why? I have faith in my hedge, but I have faith in God that if I just leave it to Him, He's going to go ahead and deal with all of it. So in the face of anger and betrayal, forgive them. It frees you from all attachments. They can't hit you with anything else because the seed of anger didn't drop in you. And divine judgment is boom, right there. It's on him right now. Why? Well, the dude knows I'm awake to it. So if I'm awake to it, that's terrifying. Somebody from the dark that does constant stuff to you. And they finally get hit with that divine judgment on them. It's almost like God drops a seed in them from the light. That's like, to someone from the dark, it's like poison, but it can also be reflection, and maybe it leads them to repentance. Either way, I was drawn in my spirit, after all this, to use these people that are in the book as examples, okay? To use them as examples as to why you don't do witchcraft and why you don't continually pursue somebody, because these people, what they wanted me to do was commit suicide. So these people, they pursued me making the choice of suicide, even though that's not something on my, it's never even crossed my mind. Have I seen a dark tunnel through part of it? Part of it I did, but not to the point of killing myself, okay? I would rather fight the good fight, and I'm on the right side. I'm on God's, if God's with you, who can be against you? So you ask God, you seek and you knock, but you pray, God, this is what I need. He'll give it right to you. As long as you're obedient. If you are an extremely obedient person and you just ask God to handle it and you develop that relationship, no problem. He's not going to slam a door on you. He loves you. You are a select, chosen few in the light. He's going to protect you. Even though something happened to you, maybe He's using that for you to come to Him for that to happen. a triangle effect. Directly to you, leave it to God, directly to that person. You don't have to take revenge. You put it in God's hands. And God will deliver. If you don't believe that God will deliver divine judgment or will do what you need, God will, you serve God, He will favor you. The more you serve God, the more He will favor you. This just happened after I cleaned up a cemetery today. Whenever you go and do something for God, you will have someone from the dark do something to you. There is a thing about the kingdom of darkness where they cannot stand that. They will do it to you just to see if you will backslide. Okay? They will do it to you just to see if you will backslide. Just to see if they can land something and start going into combat. How do you avoid... People can curse you if you're under one of the devil's curses and you're lifting it, okay? They can curse you. They can hit you with stuff. You're going through the stuff that's involved. Everybody who has a testimony probably went through some sort of curse-like effect on their life where they had somebody do something to them from the dark, okay? Master your energy. How do you master your energy? You recognize the tactics of the dark and you give it to the Lord. The Lord has it. He's in control. Right now, I went downstairs and I saw that look on that boy's face. He's already, you can see the energy. Like, there's no color in his face. Like, speaking from a boundary stone aspect. No red, yellow, blue. Like, he's gray. He's been gray for a while, but he keeps going. He keeps on going. There is no wisdom in the boy, and he's not my son, so I can't preach it to him. Why? Because his mom doesn't support any sort of religion or spirituality, won't let me speak about it. I've been silenced every time I bring it up, and I've brought it up before, and I've gotten nowhere with it. So a lot of people may ask, well, why are you still here? I've asked God the same question, and I think it was so that I could master the tactics of each person and what they're doing to me, so that I could master that and give it to God. That's why I'm still here, and that's why I'm leaving, because God is going to remove me from the situation and send me somewhere so where I can heal, I can reflect, and on to my next mission. This was the awakening for me, that I went through something with probably the most wicked family. It's like the Addams family, bro. So I'm using these people as examples. They're the Addams family, bro. So there's a lot here. There's a lot that I went through. And when I first met the family, 90% of them were Dalanige, so they were yellow, okay? Very yellow people. So they always had kind of a mask up, and they were probably just yellow and green with each other, okay? Yellow, violet, green. Like, they were very, very different. I'm a red person. I shift violet because I offer... That's kind of like my love energies. When I shift violet, I'm very loving towards you, okay? And you'll see that with a lot of people. That's a spiritual thing from my boundary stone. When you see... And God approves of that, because I'm not straight red and walking around, you know, too strict, hitting you with rulers. No, I'm very loving and caring. But you keep striking me. And so it's like, well, at a certain point, this was like, instead of having a breaking point of rage, I had a breaking point of awakening. Where I was like, oh, I'll just use you as an example. I forgive you and all this, but you gave me an example to use. I'm almost holding you up to yourself. It sucks, but you chose to do it. So God, I put it in God's hands. He does that. What's God tell me? Go on ahead. Don't like do your worst on the kid and put his name out there and do all that. No, 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 no. But the one thing that is divine judgment from my side in my ministry, the boy grows up and he has to live with that. He has to live with these videos. People, it's an example for other people. Stop doing it to people, okay? But it's not just an example for people from the dark. It's an example for people from the light. So for the example from the dark is you don't do this, this, and this because, well, if they don't have that seed of anger for one or for two, they figure it out. You're done. Like it's game over. It's also, well, I'll give it to the Lord. That you don't want that smoke, bro. God will choose divine judgment for the person. So you don't sit there and go, well, this is what's going to happen to you. No, you're the ultimate judge. God's the ultimate judge. He will deal with it. In what ways? The kid already got beat up. And why did he get beat up? He was casting witchcraft at people at school, and he picked a fight with somebody. And I had heard that message from the Lord before it happened. But I couldn't say anything because the mom won't let me talk to her spiritually. I can't give her messages. I can't She's not teachable, okay? She's not teachable. So she's not teachable. And what happened there? Well, I had to stay silent and watch it all. And I was like, well, that wasn't fun. And he kept going. Now the seed of anger is in the boy, and what's going to happen? Well, he could go and punch his sister in the face. And now you've got a whole situation with potential child protective services, an over-angry kid that's been in fights, has dropped out of school and has gone yada yada. He's playing death metal in his living room. He's got a ghost face blanket hanging from his bed. There's a whole lot. There's a whole lot. You can see it when you heal from that and you give it to the Lord. He will reveal to you, based upon what you've seen, that this might be the potential thing that he's going to have unwind on people. So it's like, I was just here. So I'm protected. I'm good. What's the divine judgment for me? God blessed me with the ability to see. He blessed me with the ability to identify them going seed of anger and trying to drop it on you, even though I have a hedge. I got a hedge of protection that I've built. Not only that, but I asked God when I was praying, I said, God, please strengthen my hedge as you did Job. As you did Job, please strengthen my hedge and protect me. And I said, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for your rod and staff comfort me and protect me. I started reciting Scripture. And once I started reciting Scripture, I kind of got out of there and I was like, well, I'm not feeling very good because I got swiped. But what did I notice? All those demons that kid has built and casted and attached to things, they all turn against him. They don't want smoke with God. If people create demons and they create mimics and they create things and they cast them at you to attack you, they will turn around and attack the person. Why? You just laid it at the Lord's feet. Even demons have to obey the Lord. So you understand that God has control over everything. Over everything. So it doesn't matter if someone casts something at you, ask God, you just send it right back to him or he'll get rid of it. He'll deal with it for you. He'll deal with it for you. So for me, there was a whole lot that I done saw here where I was like, okay, like, people's demons came out at me and attacked me from inside of them, okay? And I just asked God, well, I pray for them, I'm laying this at your feet, like, I don't have an answer. I can find an answer to the situation, but, well, God, can you deal with it for me? And you just deal with it? Well, yeah, sure, as long as you're awake to it. And there's a certain point where you have to awaken to the tactics of the dark against you, to understand Jesus' testimony and teachings as to why you need to listen to everything he said. Everything that left Jesus' lips was important to our daily lives and how we survive in the light. How we, not even just combat, just how you live as a good person. So you see it, bruh. You see it. So forgive people. Like, yeah, I forget. You're 14, you've been raised by this death metal dad who has not, he's already came over and said, oh, well, there's a, tinfoil with a bunch of drugs on it that was sitting on his nightstand. So it's like, well, there's drugs near the house, but I can't prove that. Nobody's called nobody. I'm just sitting in the middle like, I'm not trying to get, people going pitchfork and steak knives after me if I were to make a call. So I'm like, well, how do I do it? I got to get out of here. If I was out of here, yeah, make a call. But just make the call while I'm here, that could potentially put me in a dangerous situation where these people go from witchcraft to attempted murder. Well, and the witchcraft that they've done is conspiracy and attempted murder because you're trying to get me to commit suicide. But you understand. So the more you understand, the more you see. So the more you see, you're like, okay, I get it. So it's like, what does he do? Well, he casts monitoring spirits at me. So it's one of those things where you're like, people try and monitor you too. So if people try and drop the seed on you, they will try and see what they can do, what tactic they can do to get through your armor. And if you understand all the seeds of the dark they try and put in you, you understand Jesus' testimony, you understand, you pray to God and you give it to him, that you don't got nothing to worry about. It just boink, 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 boink. Well, I'm out of there. Like, it ain't my problem now, bro. Like, that's all you. You chose to do it. Your influence is wrong. So that's where I have empathy for the boy. Where I'm like, your influence is so terrible. Like, you're under the influence of a dark practitioner. So you're learning to do this stuff. and you're all the way to the dark when you gotta have some balance. So what does he do for balance? He goes and plays death metal and stuff to try and feel like he's good at something. And it's like, well, inherently what you're doing isn't good. So it doesn't matter if you're playing death metal or getting good at guitar, you're still not very good. You're not inherently good. God, if he converted to the light, okay? If he converted to the light, would God bless him? And maybe he's playing different music, but he gets way good at guitar. Probably. Why? He's not focused on doing witchcraft. He's focused on his craft. Not witchcraft. He's focused on his craft. Maybe he wouldn't have gotten beat up in school. Maybe he would have had friends. Maybe he would have been blessed with a life that isn't just messed. At least be, somewhere lukewarm. Like, you way out there. Like, he's not even lukewarm. So what do we have here? We have the wheat and we have the tares. The wheat and the tares, bro. So maybe that's something that if you are a piece of wheat among God's field and there are tares sown upon you, that those tares are used as examples for other people from the light, other pieces of wheat, to understand what they're surrounded with. The wheat and the tares, bro. What's up, y'all? It's Lone Wolf. I'm coming to you with a video about the seed of lust. I just went through something again, alright? Now, I'm going to tell you about a little story that Wolfie Boy had tonight, okay? The seed of lust. This is for men, okay? Women will reject you to feed their seed of lust. That's how they feed their seed of lust. They get off on the validation of rejection, and it hits them here or here, down below or here. It only hits them down below if they act on it. Yeah, that's kind of strange that we don't really understand that, but some people do. Ignoring their bait and removing your seed of lust will cause a reverse effect on the person, but they want to put that seed in you, okay? They see it as innocence, but it's wisdom when you're pure-spirited, okay? I just noticed this, and right when I pulled the seed of lust out of me earlier from my girlfriend, okay, there was a DoorDash to a house, okay? And I'm going to be as honest and blunt as I can by this. I don't care if y'all laugh or what, okay? A single woman answered the door with nice boobs and noticeable nipples through her shirt. Everybody right now is probably laughing on the internet. What I'm telling you is she looked good, okay? Like, she looked like a model. Like, really, like, she looked hot, okay? And there's no seed of lust in me. I'm just telling you the truth. She was physically attractive to me, and I was like, this ain't normal for this town. There's like one other person I done seen that was like that. I was like, well, hold on. Like, you like a model or something, okay? And here's the thing I saw, okay? Other than, like, her nipples were noticeable, okay? What am I saying? I'm not saying it was cold out. I'm saying maybe she took her bra off and ran downstairs. I don't really know what happened, but, it showed up with that. So the devil done worked through this woman, okay? The devil will work through these people to get you to take that seed of lust to pull you back into sin. A lot of people would have gone home and masturbated to that whole situation. A lot of people would have had an issue with porn after that, okay? Even if you don't act on your seed of lust, it will happen to you. So if you have the seed of lust but you don't act on it, and you actively fight it and pull it out, that type of scenario, a test and temptation, will come your way. Realistically, if I would have gone into a player phase, I probably could have at least got a date with the girl. I'm just going to be honest with you. Why? Well, because I'm a confident man and I already know I could do that, but that really isn't something that I'm interested in right now, okay? Instead, I acted goofy with the woman. If you act goofy, like you are just kind of like, oh, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with somebody, okay? You act a little bit goofier with somebody, you will glitch them in that situation. Where they automatically are like, I don't know if I find you attractive, but, and they just kind of go the other way, and you're like, yes, I didn't have to deal with any of that. Turn around, I'm going to make some money, dog, I'm out of here, okay? So I'm like, all right. I acted goofy, and I got out of that. Where I was like, okay, I don't have her hitting on me or going further than that. Here's your food, I got to go. And I was just like, I don't know where I'm going and this and that. Like, I was kind of just, like, playing goofy, and she just kind of smiled, and I was like, oh, okay, I got to get out of here. And so it's a temptation from the devil and test from God. If you pass it, you will be blessed by God and have testimony to speak on. This is the testimony. This is my blessing right here, okay? So I have the testimony right now to speak on this. I originally thought this can happen to you and then God blesses you with the person. This is what I'm probably going to I'll talk about this, okay? It is attractive to women that your spirit is pure. Believe it or not, you don't use that to get into bed with women. That's not what you're not using your spirit to get. You're not obtaining a pure spirit so that you can get some, hot chick to hook up with. That's not how it goes. You protect your spirit and guard your heart. If the woman is mad about it and takes it as rejection, witchcraft can be used in return. This woman tried to do a love spell on me after this. She hit me with a love spell like right after. Well, no, she hit me with a love spell about 30 minutes after she got done eating her food and she saw the receipt. I'm going to cast this love spell at this dude right here on the receipt. And it hit me. What did I do? I identified it immediately, and right when I identified the apple, I identified this, I identified the spell. Like, the devil worked through her to do every possible thing that she could to try and latch on to me. I want that validation. I'm giving you validation. Why did she do it? Because if she ever sees me again, if it landed, that I'm immediately in love with the woman. I'm not playing those games. So if I ever see that woman again, she's going to see, well, he's probably acting goofy again here trying to get another one. So it's like, well, I'm not dealing with it, okay? All right. So this woman didn't take it necessarily as rejection. Maybe she found me attractive. Maybe she just wants men to lust after her. And that could be that it still feeds her validation just because she did that at the very bare minimum. He's pure spirited. I'll land him with it anyway. It didn't land. It hit me. It bounced off. I'm good. Okay? So what do we have? You just learn this when you go through it enough. So you understand this process when you go through it enough. They will pull at you to get that seed to drop. They will reject you to feed the seed of lust at the very minimum, okay? So you may not even hook up with the girl, they just reject you to feed it. If you don't let that drop, prepare for war. If you don't let that seed of lust drop into you, prepare for war with the person with love spells. Prepare for a woman who might submit to you as well, because it might show strength and she might actually start pulling seeds out herself. Or if she does, she remembers you, okay? One of the two, okay? Well, women can get unattracted to it as well if you're with them. So if seed of lust is weird, if you get rid of it, your partner might not find you attractive, that you're pure-spirited. That's okay. You go find somebody else. Women enjoy putting that seed of lust in you by looking a certain way, okay? It's a wicked, but the cycle is so screwy. Right after I passed this test, homie, this is what happened to me. I took an order from here to the next town from a birria store, okay? And people are going to be like, oh, we're talking about food. I got blessed with the testimony to give, but there was a dude who didn't pick up his order, homie. He didn't pick it up. So they gave me the order to drop off, but they gave me a whole bunch of birria tacos, bro. Lunch is paid for, dinner's paid for tomorrow. I got blessed, bro. God sent me that way right after. Like right after. Almost like God just took me to these two places and boom, you got hit with this test and this temptation. Boom, you get rewarded with some food and a testimony. It was very short, but it was sweet. I'm like, this is easy, bro. So I'm like, everybody want to hit on me and do all that. I should give me some free food, bro. I'm just playing, but I'm just like, well, that was cool. Like, I got free birria, homie. Like, I'm set. Free birria. I did not fall into temptation. I could have easily given that woman my business card. Here you go, I'm a mechanic in town. You know, if you ever want to hang out, let me know. And they're like, well, I got a boyfriend. Don't tell your boyfriend that I'm still a good mechanic. I could have played. I wasn't playing. I was like, no. And then boom, I called the love spell before it happened. About 10 to 20 minutes before it happened, I called it and bam, bam, hit me. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me, bro. It happened. I identified it. I almost saw everything 3 steps ahead. But I didn't expect that one. I was like, you hooked me up with the free birria, bro. Like, that's wild. So that's a seed of lust. Taking the seed of lust out of you, your partner may still have that. They may end up getting stuck into pornography and stuff like that. So you may see another thing. That if a woman has a seed of lust and she's feeling the validation and the man does have a seed of lust, but he's watching porn and stuff, she's going to go somewhere else and go get validation from somewhere else. It's a washing machine, bro. They get put to couples that have seed of lust. I do believe that you can lust for your partner in healthy ways. But if your seed of lust hasn't been uprooted, I think that there is something where you are equally yoked with somebody, that you can lust for your wife or your husband if you're equally yoked with them, but you don't lust for other people. People in Christian relationships and people that are from the light and that are native may agree with me that you can be completely pure-spirited and lust with your wife, but you don't lust for anybody else. You just lust for your wife. And it's something that's ingrained in marriage, but it's ingrained in pure spirit. It's ingrained in Ruth and Boaz. It's ingrained. You look at the story of the first strawberry with the Cherokee, and you kind of see that where you're like, okay, like something about that story really resonated with me where I want to talk about that too. So at a later time, I'm probably going to go over it in a video just to talk about it because it's Boundary Stone, okay? But I done passed a big test tonight, okay? And that test, when I pulled up to the house, to the woman that took the food, I saw her up in her upstairs window because I was like, oh, okay, well, there's this. I didn't see her naked, none of that stuff. Don't even try me. But I pulled up, and she was like on a ladder, like dealing with something in her room, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess it's that house. And I like walked up to the door, and I was like, I don't really know. She came coming down the stairs, and like, bam, I'm like, okay, like, here you go. Like, I was down goofy, and I took off. I was like, okay. And it's like, well, did I look like a fool? Some people could say he kind of looked like a fool when he was talking to that woman. But the glitch of the situation was, I didn't further that connection to where I almost blanketed my masculinity. Because my natural masculinity would have came out, and she would have fed off of that, and we would have had this, like, we probably would have connected spiritually on a level. And I'm like, well, I'm not connecting spiritually with people who got the seed of lust. It's way down deep in them, okay? So this one, I was like, no way, dog. No way. No way. The only way I will spiritually match with you is if you have a clean spirit or you have very little seeds in you that you can pull out, that aren't embedded deep in you and blossomed into a dark, scary tree. They're just a little, you know, or right in here where it blossoms out of your heart a little bit that you got to take it out. I've seen people with the seed of lust down there, bro, and it's like, it's way steep. Like, you got a lot of work to do. Why? I was there at one time too, where my seed, that's when my era when I was hooking up, and I was doing that. I didn't hook up that much. But my era of hooking up, I had that seed of lust down there because all I wanted to do was hook up. I wanted to experience people. And that's not the way to go. If you want to experience people, all you have to do is read the Bible and identify the spirits that are in people, and that's how you experience people. From a distance. I don't want to be hanging out with someone with the seed of greed, fear, lust, hatred, anger. I don't want none of that, bro. I done took the seed of anger out of me, and the lust seed was uprooted a while ago, and people have been dropping it. I've been throwing it, dropping it, throwing it, and then I figured out the game. I figured out the game. If you fail a test, how do you know? You have that seed of lust drop back in you. You gotta go take it out again. Wolfie boy, good. I'm good. I got my Black Rifle coffee. It's midnight, and I got free beer. Until next time, Lone Wolf. Peace out.